All right, so now we're going to start on the who we are section. So right underneath the what we do section, we're going to put a comment, and let's say section who we are, and we're going to use a section tag with an ID of who. And you guys can see the pattern in how I do things. So basically we have a header at the top, or a header nav combination, whatever, and then everything under that is usually a section. And that's how I build pretty much all my websites and UIs. So inside this section, basically we're going to have a flex box with two items, which is going to be one, the background image, one is going to be this side here. And I want it to go all the way to the edge. See how this goes all the way over, this goes all the way over. So we're actually not going to use a container in this section. So the section itself is going to be the flex box, and then the two items, let's do one, we'll call it who-img. It's just going to be a background image, so no content inside the div. And then let's call this one who-text. Okay, so we have the image, and then we have the text, and these are going to be flex items. Now the who text, we're going to also add a couple utility classes. I want to add BG dark, which we still have to create, and I'm going to do P2. Okay, I'm going to add some padding classes that have padding all the way around. That's why I don't have PY. PY is for the up and down axis. P2 or P anything is going to be padding all around, as you can see that we have here. So inside here, let's put a H2, and this H2 is going to be an M heading. So you can see that we almost create our own framework when we do this. If you have any experience with Bootstrap or any kind of HTML, CSS framework, you have built-in classes that do certain things, and that's pretty much what we're doing, is we're creating our own built-in classes so that we can use them over and over, instead of styling, you know, the who section H2, the what section H2, and stuff like that. We just have these base utilities that we can use, and I think that's the best way to do things. So who is going to be inside the text primary. And if you don't know, for instance, Bootstrap or a front-end framework like that, then you'll see once you start to learn Bootstrap that a lot of these classes I actually take from Bootstrap, like text primary. So let's do who, and then outside of the span we'll do we are. And then after the H2, let's do a paragraph. And I think I did 30 here. Let's do lorem 30. And then let's see, underneath the paragraph, we're going to have another H3 or a H3. And we're going to say our team, and then a UL. And I'm going to give this UL a class of list because we need to style it. It has some bottom borders, take away the bullet points, stuff like that. So let's do an LI. We have how many? Looks like what we have 5 here, so times 5. And we'll just put some names in here like Mark Smith. We'll say that Mark is the CEO. And let's do Shannon Johnson is the CFO. And let's see, John Corbett, I don't know where I get these names from. Lead accountant. And let's see, we have Janet Williams, investment manager. And then finally we have Kara Jackson, senior accountant. And I tried to keep the names you know, with this image right here. Actually, I'm missing one, aren't I? There's 6 people here. That's fine, whatever. If you want to add another one, you can. All right, so that's pretty much it for the section. Let's save it. Let's go back to ours. And there we go. So it looks like crap, obviously, but we're going to fix that. So in our style CSS, I'm just going to go ahead and make this a little smaller. Let's make sure that, okay, so that's still All right, so let's go under the what section. It's good to keep your CSS and your HTML commented out, just so you can see you know, what goes where. I think it better organizes your code. So like I said, who itself, the ID of who is going to be the flex container. So let's say ID who, and let's say we want to display flex, and I want just equal sides. So what I'm going to do is say any div that's inside the who div, I'm going to say flex 1. Okay, the divs are the flex items, right? We have the section, which is the flex box or the flex container, and then each of these is the div or the item, and I'm setting it to flex 1. So now it's just split half and half. Now on this side, I want the background image, so let's do that. Let's say the ID of who and the class of who dash image. I'm going to set the background to a URL, and the image is going to, we want to go outside of CSS, inside of image, and we want the people.jpg. Okay, and we're going to add our no repeat. We're going to center and cover. So now we have our image, and then let's see. Over here, we shouldn't really have to do anything else. Let me just make this a little bigger. We shouldn't have to do anything except our utility classes, because that'll cover the padding as well as the background color. So remember, we have a BG dark. Let's go up here where we have the BG light. I think we have a BG light. Oh, we didn't even add that, huh? No, we didn't. All right, so let's put that under the text here. We'll say BG light, which has a background of light gray, and color 333. And then let's also copy this down, and this is going to be BG dark. And then BG dark, we're just going to kind of reverse this. So we're going to do 333. And then for the color, we'll do white for the color. Oops. And save. So now this has the light gray, this has the dark. We need to add some padding here. Or not add the padding, but add the class of, I think we used P2. Yeah, we used P2. So let's go right under where we did all of these paddings. Copy it, and I'll do just... do we do a dash? Yeah, P-2. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to use the same amounts. So 1.5, 2, and 3, except we want it to be on all sides. So we just want to get rid of the 0, because then we just have this one value, which will be for all sides. So let's save that. And now if you check it out, we have our padding. We have our background color. What we didn't do is the list. Now the list is, I'm going to make this a utility because we might want to use this list styling somewhere else. So I don't want to you know, keep it inside the who div or the who ID. So the list I'm going to put under the button here. And let's first of all give it some margin on the top and bottom. We'll do 0.5 rem 0. Okay, so now it's at least, we have some space there. And then I'm going to take away the bullet points. So list style none. And for the list items, I'm going to add some padding to the top and bottom, 0.5 rem. And then let's add a border bottom, and let's do 444. Let's do dotted as the style, and 1 pixel, and save. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, cool. So let's see. I think the clients section is easy enough for us to go ahead and do in this video. So underneath the who we are, let's put section clients, and we'll do a section with an ID of clients. And I want to add a class of py1. So padding, it'll be 1.5 rem on the top and bottom. And then we want a container because we want to move everything to the middle. And we want an h2. I'm going to give this a class of m heading as well as text center. And we're going to say our clients, but the word our will be green, so we want to do a span here of text primary. We'll say our, and then outside of the span we'll say clients. Okay, now we're going to use flex again here to align the images. So we're going to do a class of items, or let's see, let's do you know what, I think if we look in our style CSS, let me just, okay, so we did target what items, so we can use the class items here as well. And inside items, we're just going to have basically a div with the image. Okay, so the div is going to be the actual flex item, and then in each div we'll have an image, and this is going to be /, since we're in the index HTML, we want it to be in the same folder, and then we want to go into the image folder, and then we want to go into logos, and I'm going to do logo 1 PNG. Let me make this a little bigger. And then for the alt, I'm just going to say, well, we'll say client. Okay, obviously we don't put anything in here, it's just the image. But let's copy this down 5 times. And then we're just going to change the image. So this will be logo 5, 4, 3, and 2. And I'm also just going to add a P1 class here, or PY1, to add some padding here. All right, so let's save that and take a look. Okay, so obviously it's just going to show, it's just each image on a separate line because they're in a div, so divs are block level. We haven't made this a flex box yet, so we want to do that so that we can align them. So we'll go right here, let's say clients, and let's take the clients ID and the items class, and let's display that as flex. Once I do that, you'll see that it's going to align them this way. Now the images are way too big, they're going off the screen here, so I'm going to target clients, items, and then the images themselves. And for one, I'm going to display a block. Okay, I want to be able to add a width to them. I'm going to say margin auto so that they're right in the center, and then I'm going to set the width of the image to 60% of its container, and we'll save that, and there we go. Okay, so that's it for the client section. So in the next video we're going to start to work on the contact, and in the contact we have a little form here. We also have a map. Okay, so what we're going to have to do to implement a map is get an API key from Google Maps. So you will have to log into your Google account, and we're going to use the console to generate an API key. Okay, and if you don't know what that is, or you've never heard of an API key, don't worry about it. We're going to go step by step, and we're going to go through it. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.